Welcome everyone to my last and final ever, I guess, appearance, you can really say. Because today is essentially my last everything. I'm not saying that I'm going to disappear forever. I will answer obviously questions that have questions about this, so stay tuned for more about that. But for now, let's focus on something else, as this direct has many other things, such as my time within BWE, my advice for future federations and generation. Then there is the more important parts of what is next, the awards, and the Hall of Barbaric. For other people that's not part of BWE, it is essentially just Hall of Fame. There's other stuff I'm gonna announce later, but for now, those are the sticky points or sticky notes that I will talk about. But for now, I will talk about my time with BWE. Now, BWE has started very early in 2015. It was just me and some friends. That was like, this will be a fun, stupid idea. What if we started our own federation? Lopez, you're very funny, you're very creative. How about you be the chair, man? We don't care if you book yourself, because there's only like 5 of us, but we're gonna just do this for fun. And that was really the aim of season 0. Just do shit. See what happens. And what is fair and game is fair and game. That was essentially just the whole clean / takedown era. But it was mostly just clean era in that time. We had other titles that I couldn't really find, such as Hardcore Championship. We had a Hardcore Championship which I was not able to find anything of. I looked and I looked and I looked, and I couldn't find anything of the Hardcore Championship. So I couldn't find any pictures of it besides me holding it. So the only appearance you will ever see BWE having a Hardcore Championship was back in season 0, when we thought that it would make sense that we had a Hardcore Championship if every title will be defended in a Hardcore stipulation anyway. So eventually that just got removed, and we had a World Entertainment Championship. Yes, that was the name, and I regret naming it that. But I had a lot of fun from season 0 to now. Season 1, I was new era that I believe Seth actually joined in. He was on a few early birds that literally joined in season 1. Where I would say the arena looked pretty bad. It had at least it had 3 stages, but it had different colors of those stages, you have to pay for. Kinda similar to now with the VIP tickets, but the VIP tickets doesn't really work. But this one did though. So essentially they had these 3 levels where you can watch from that made it better for you to really watch the whole thing without us having the experience with spec tools, or at least I didn't have spec tools. But that got swiftly removed once I got spec tools, so it didn't really last that long. But still, we had a lot of fun. Me, Arthur, Twisted Jericho, Seth, and some others I can't sadly. Brock Lesnar also was there. It wasn't called Brock Lesnar. He was called Lesnar. I think it was Brick Lesnar, yeah. Essentially, he was actually very good, but he didn't be inside BB for very long. He was there for a year, then he disappeared. And then I was on other federations and got my first ever partnership with Mustache Co., which you should see in the shells, which I will talk about soon enough. Season 2 was where everything really exploded for BB. This is where Aaron, Mari, and so many more people joined BB. This is where I will say is the pinnacle of where everything really started. We had new championship looks, we had new matches, we had new stage, we had new arena. Everything looked cleaner, everything looked better, and everything sounded better, and everything was more in stake. Though I didn't book myself anymore, as we had like 15 people at this stage. And from there it was even more. They kept growing and growing and growing, but it also went up and down, which is very common for any federation to keep going up and down. As we then approach our first pay-per-view really in this new season of, I will call it the reset era, of everything essentially be like a clean slate, and this is something different. We have to do something more like wild. So I introduced, I guess, a fully pledged pay-per-view arena. Except we didn't have pay-per-view arenas back then. We had just the arenas that we did the pay-per-views in, or the events to defend our titles, or we defend our titles every single time. And this was the triumph of death. This was as random as match. I thought it would be a very funny match to really do of how wild can we make a death match. The first one was like from the kickdown era, when we had kickdown of you pushing them into explosive barrels and you win. And it slowly evolved over time. New stipulations and new rules and more stuff to really fit to the current era was added on. Season 3 was more explosive. We had the 2 brands 1 show era. Essentially that was a whole season 3 was 2 brands 1 show. And that was also where we also had the, I guess, partnership or sponsorship with XMW. Not many here really remember that, sadly, as XMW is canonly not canon. But I had a lot of fun being the last Immortals champion, which is why we have an Immortals champion. So that was my tribute within the XMW. And I don't know why it took so long to make one. I don't have an answer for why. But that was essentially why eventually we had an Immortal Championship to tribute that. Because that was the last ever Immortal Championship, and that's a way to really tribute that type of era. Because Season 3 is where we got 20, 30 people almost every show at best. And we were the most talked about era of all time. Season 4 we explored more, but this era was really slow. And many people who was in this era will probably remember as this being a more slower era, as it was more people, it was going down again. And this was the season that I fucked up. I believe that was the season I fucked up really, and it was one of the longer seasons besides Dark Series, of lasting so long until we did the new era of the light. This is where I did a full reset of whole BBE, our 5.5 season essentially. There we fixed everything, we reset everything, and not a real lore within BBE has been reset, but everything has been essentially fixed. And I have essentially been a better person overall. I've really thought about what I've been doing and how I can make everything and myself even better. So I did this non-stop. Season 5.5 was the era that lasted not too long, but it was still a very long, nice season that slowly fused itself to the next season of Season 6, which is the Dark Series, which is the Season 6 to Season 9. This is the one of the longest ever series. That's where everyone really has arrived. This is more new people, new blood, and everything really have arrived. This has been about the up and downs, but this is our more strong eras. Everything looked better. We had more people, we had more talents, we had everything. And I had a lot of people that have said things, I won't really say it here, but they had, let's say, feelings. And I feel very weird, really like talking about it or talking to them about it. Because, you know, I'm a fucking old man. I'm gonna name them or say who they are, or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure they're watching this now, or they are not. It's a really 50-50 chance, really. But that was my time within BBE. To summarize it in a very quick matter, and I loved every season. If I could reset and do a new season or do a whole new federation, I think I would. But I wouldn't do a not a weekly show. I think I will do maybe a monthly show where I will focus more on what I am best at, which is advertising, the GFX, the pay-per-views, the whole shebang. Like, if anything, I got more of the keen eye of making everything feels bigger. Because with BVE season Brutality 5, I made it feel huge. This is one of my biggest ever pay-per-view I ever booked. Sadly, we got attacked like at the night 2, but it was quickly fixed thanks to the amazing admin team. So, for once, thank you admins for doing your job. And now it's good to go. I see you in the background. I do see you. But yeah, I think the next segment is about to start. Lobos for the future right here. I just want to let you all know that we have a special speech from the co-chairman right now. Please enjoy his speech before I announce anything more or say anything more.
My time at BWE as the co-chairman was it was a very great run, I'll say that. BWE has had its ups and downs, but at the same time, we all joined together and made sure that we managed to provide for the BWE audience within the animated community. My time there, I have met some very trustworthy individuals. I have met amazing talent. I have had faith in all of BWE's superstars at the time. And despite all that, I am amazed at how far BWE has grown during my absence. I am actually ashamed I couldn't have been there further to watch BWE progress. And I'm actually ashamed I couldn't be there for BWE x MECW, despite me being involved with both federations. But despite that, I have major faith in the future of the animated community. I have faith in all the superstars who has participated throughout every show in BWE. I've enjoyed every single time watching every single wrestler within the ring fight with all they have, all showcasing their greatest superiorities. And besides all that, I am just grateful that I had the opportunity to be entrusted such a role. Despite my absence, I sincerely apologize, but at the same time, I have no regrets in the parts I've done throughout BWE. So you could say I'm somewhat of a good co-chairman. You could say I do my best. Some could say I'm not that good, but it's okay. All that matters is you had someone who swore not to let any of you down. But again, I like to thank a lot of individuals for all the time I've had within BWE, and along with everything that has happened throughout the Federation. I thank Lopez, for entrusting me such a role within BWE, and I'm grateful for him hosting such a federation that has come a long way. I thank the BWE staff creative team. I thank everyone involved with all the planning done towards BWE, and I can just pray for the future on what everyone does then when BWE finally closes their doors.
This is a question from Gary, and his question entails, does that mean you are retired from all wrestling as a whole, and what is next for you? This is a very good question. This is a very simple answer as well of I will be mostly in the background. You won't really see me, I won't really contribute much. I will be still mostly just helping, make sure everything is good, make sure nothing is fucked up, make sure that everyone is satisfied, and the transaction is done, which I will get into more. This is a question from Giola, hope I say your name correctly, or Paxley. I'll say just Paxley. This is a question from Paxley. So you're retiring yourself completely of AM wrestling and Roblox, and after you're retiring, what happening with BWE? It's going to merge with another AMV Fed. What's next for you and what's next for BWE? This is a very good question, but it has a lot of questions really. When I was aiming for more, get one question per person. But essentially, BWE will stay still as an open Fed, most likely. That it's gonna have a lot of small things. I'm gonna mostly still be in the background for many other federations. I have now planning to be mostly, really, I wouldn't say admin or anything huge. I will do small roles such as recording, helping people, make sure that everything is going smooth with them and their federation, like small little helps, like giving them a small helping hand, essential. And it won't really merge. And what is next for BB? Well, I'm gonna answer actually in a moment. I don't have an answer now, but I have an answer soon enough. Actually, in this Bwe Direct, I actually have an answer, because that is essentially what a special announcement is. This is a question from PT. His Discord name is just P, but his PT is his name. When it comes to newbies, do you host a tryout, or when it comes to a random book match of book, do you give them a chance? And if they did bad or good, would you give them a second chance? I would essentially give everyone a second chance, a third chance, fifth chance, until they do something good, but they will stay mostly in the ground. I think the best way to really give a new talent a tryout is the first match, maybe the first or second match. This will, but this is better if you have 2 shows a week. If you have 2 shows a week, then if you have one of those shows to really try showcase the other talents. Like for Underground, that's what I mostly do now, is showcase new talent, show everyone off. Well, I was trying for debut or a tryout or anything. I also have done before like a tryout in gyms, but no one was really interested, so I just gave up. So my advice, if you want a federation that really wants to try to debut or try new people out, just find like a size time slot between some matches, like a filler match. Let's say you have a 10-minute match. Okay, it was really awesome. Everyone feels burnt out. What's a good way to really make so people get their energy back? Filler matches. That's why you can use like a debut match. It doesn't have to be long. It could be a 7-minute match between 2 people that you wish to try out or debut. Just make sure you have some leverage of knowledge. If you don't have any knowledge, have some kind of like a NXT or Underground for BBKs of showcasing these talents, or doing a tryout in gyms. For most cases, BWE is partnered with Raw Bro. So if you're going to them and say, I'm from BWE, that's most likely they're going to tell me, if they're ever going to tell me, some results of you trying out. And if they don't, just in case, ask them to send me something. This is a question from my good buddy Arthur. Who is the next line to be in Hollow Barbaric if you plan for any? Well, there are like 4 people. Yeah, 4 people. Let me make sure. Sometimes I fuck up. Yeah, there are plans for Hollow Barbaric in this whole show of Direct. So that will be announced most likely in a bit. mostly that one of the last things before my special before anything. Because it's the Holberg has to have its own ancestry at the end. And this is a question from Nox. When I started, oh boy, I would say I started maybe very early of 2015, 2014-ish. Late 2014, late and early 2015 at best. Where I went to a federation. I'm trying to remember top of my head. Because it is no longer there. So I was trying to find anything on it, but I couldn't. But I think it's called RWWE. I might be wrong. I don't mind being wrong. But that's what I think it's called. That's the first federation I got into. And how I started is instantly, this is very fun. I want to try some sword fighting. It's instantly like sword fighting. I might as well go. Because I was really good at sword fighting. And I was having a mean streak, and I had a mean streak. This is a question from Adam, who will control BB after Brutality 5. Oh, is that a butterfly? I think that's a bird. I have to get that butterfly over there, and I'll be right back. The next question is from Kazuya or Kenshin. When you retire, will it become a commentator, or are you retiring from or else as a whole? I will be mostly not really active on Roblox anymore. I will be very like once in a lifetime online. Probably mostly because of now I have done a deal with another fed, so you'll see me mostly weekly on that show, mostly just to do recordings. I will probably record or stream other feds, but mostly I won't really do much. But I don't think I will be commentary. Maybe I'll do it, but that will be much later in the future until I fully have my own like complete plates. Really, this is a question from Brandon. What are you gonna do next in life? Would you ever return once or twice? I think I will not really return as a wrestler. I will mostly return as like you could call it a cameraman. If ever the chance comes to me wrestling, only two people I will probably wrestle would be Alexander Andrews and Tyson Virgo, if anything, because those two are on my list of people I want to wrestle at least one more time. Because in the past, if you don't know, I have wrestled Andrew. I defeated Andrew many times in the past, so I have like a more of a one-up against him. So it's a very nice way of us fighting off and also finishing a rivalry I wanted to have with him after him essentially pushing me off the Thieves' End Bridge to already rekindle something. With Virgo, it's mostly like an old rivalry, like a one last rivalry like match, where we really tear down the building. This is a question from Chris Matthews. World Champions be allowed to defend outside of BDE during the time without an active chairman? Yes. But essentially just send me the message. You have only the things I need is obviously the champion has to sadly win, because we had to get tape of them losing or winning. If possible, any screenshots, like any pictures or anything will be great, like his entrance, his match, his weigh-in, essentially like ending small things. And that's all I really ask for, is that. Obviously, if there's a problem of champion versus champion, then don't put the title online. Because I don't want to suddenly have a notification of double champion. This guy is now world and immortal champion. Example. And that's gonna be really a pain. I don't think anyone will like do that. So try to really not put tile versus tile as much for any BB tiles, because I think that's really an issue, unless that's one of those planned things where, let's say, it's an MCW, they have like one of those, let's say, Atlas Championship versus World Championship, and the person becomes both the championship of Atlas and World. So that's fine if like Levito allows it. That's an strong example. This is a question from 11. What were your favorite BB moments? champions, wrestlers, and pay-per-views. I think there's more questions. I think I will answer this in the awards because I think that will be really nice of thinking like, hey, I think this could have won, or this is why I like this one better, essentially. But I won't have any votes. This is just my overall opinions. I think it goes really well with awards. And then the last question. This one was a really hard thing to really how I can answer this. And this is from Noah Rourke. What was the full story of you saying the slur? So, for you people that don't know, let me give you some context. So, back in, I would say RWC, I was really angry at Jalen, and he was upset at him, really. I don't think I've ever been this mad at someone, and he couldn't really arrive at all as a champion. I told him many times that if you can't arrive, I had to defend it. And forcefully had to defend the title. He couldn't arrive for the first like 2 weeks because of like circumstances. Broke his arm, grandma issues. I was like, okay, I'll wait 2 more weeks. And he couldn't defend it for some other reasons. And I was like, this is not possible. I had to defend the title. I had to put the title on the line or it would become just irrelevant. And we had a huge argument. We had a huge fight. And then I said the word. I didn't say the hard one. I only said the 4 letters. And I'm really sorry about it. I can't really take back my stupid mistake. And if I could remove that from my history, I would. But the reality is like I can't really remove what's in the internet with internet, really. So all I can do is take this and become a better me, really, and take the blame fully. It is my fault, but I'm also sorry to Jalen. To give a small context within a big context. There's other situations where I have said it way in the past that had been screenshotted of me saying that one reference from buttocks. And I had and that is not an excuse. This is still a fact that I had like this personality disorder. This is a fact. I have it on paper even. It's called something else, but I just call it that to make it easy for myself to really know what it is called. But it's called something else where essentially your mind is like a kid until you grow an age, or you'll stay forever as a kid in your mind. That was sadly a thing I had to really fight with and struggle with as I grew up, until it settled in my brain and everything woke up over time and become more mature and become essentially my whole self became older. I'm not saying it as an excuse or blaming of that. At least I'm not trying to. I'm just explaining it. At that moment, I am essentially sorry about it. And there's nothing I can really take back from that moment. And the last one is, I wouldn't say I said it. It's more, it was in part of the rules where I wrote the whole thing. The hard slur. As you're not allowed to say this rule. And people then said to me, hey, can you remove it? I won't say the person, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows who it is, because he had the whole fuss about it, and then he did a whole 360 on me. We then got to agreement, or at least I tried to come up with an agreement of removing the hard R from the whole, just to replace the N slur, F slur. It's like the F word or N word, essentially. And that was the easiest cake. Yes, do that. That's way better than having it there. Then we had a hard argument, and then that was really painless of having that fight. So that was not really necessary of having a fight, something like that. Now, let's try to have a more brighter mood. And thank you all for submitting your questions. This was very nice, really. Thank you, and I don't think I will ever answer any more questions from that. Alright, now time for the award. Welcome everyone and welcome to the awards. This is essentially the PvE awards. And I will tell you who is the winner and who are the nominees, that at least the top 3. For each category that I will say, at least my opinion, who could have won that award. For I think should have at least gotten more votes, or essentially who could have gotten more votes. The nominees for the Rookie of the Year is Jacques Archer, Levin Brooks, and Chris Matthews. These are your top 3 voters. But there's only one winner. Drum roll, and your winner by a whopping 32.5% is Jacques Archer. Clap, clap. And this is a whole, honestly, he earned it. I don't disagree with this choice at all. Jacques earned this reward. The only person I will say close to him really getting this win would have been probably Levin. But after what he has been doing lately, he deserves this win wholeheartedly. Now, this is the best theme award. This is mostly, but first was voted by added voted by community, like giving your themes you like to hear whenever there's a PvE. And these are your top 3. Black Sun Empire, Motionless in White, CyberX. Brandon Williams' face theme, California Love. And something I was a bit surprised by, who got slightly more votes, is Ivory Michelle's second team from Indie Heartful, Bullet Train with Impressive. I think at least this one was really what cemented here. But your winner of best theme with a whopping 30% of the votes is, from those splits, the BCE Motionless in White CyberX. So I was a bit surprised by this one. I'm not saying BCE shouldn't win, but I'm surprised that some things didn't get higher, like Alejandro's first theme. This one was mostly my personal favorite. I feel like maybe one more vote, but that had only one vote overall. But that's it. I think that it's a really banger thing. I recommend you going and listen to it, but it isn't really as iconic as the Motionless CyberX or Gary's Potential Victims or the Bullet Train. But now the next award goes to the segment / promo of the year. This is essentially the best people that have done the most entertaining or the most best in the mic or off the mic. Just something entertaining overall. The top 3, almost 4 really by 1%, is Aaron's Pipe Bomb at the 420-2023. At the 420. At last year? Yeah, last year, because this is coming in 2024. And then there is the big face promo at the last year at 12/14 or the 14th December. Then lastly, one I was a bit glad I got this many votes is the Gary's fake news segments. And your winner, drum rolls please, who wins the one that wins this promo / segment / promo of the year is Aaron Jekyll's Pipe Bomb at 420. I was a bit surprised at this one. I thought maybe Noah's big face promo would have won, or maybe the fake news segments at least gotten quite way closer, because Aaron's Pipe Bomb got a whopping 40% of the vote. while Noah and Gary got 20-20. Essentially, if they combine their votes together, they will have 40 and we'll have a tie. Essentially. This is one of the rare moments where there's top 4, because there's some moment, because it has some ties in the votes actually. But this is going to match of the year. This is more important. I think everyone had done really well for overall in this year. But there's only one winner. So the ones in the list, top 4, keep in mind, is the XCW Undisputed Championship, Dallas versus Alexander Andrews at the Brutality 5. Then it's the Lopez Roods versus Evan Christenor at Lights Out in a Lights Out match at Brutality 5. Then it's the Noob Taker versus the Noob Taker in a Bury Alive match. Lastly is the World BB Championship of Aaron Jekyll versus Noah Rourke. But your winner with a whopping 27.5. Not a huge mark. Keep in mind this was extremely close at some point, because it kept going up and down for at close it. Your winner is Dallas versus Alexander Andrews for the XC100 Undisputed Championship. This was quite close. If I had to vote on the most entertaining match, it would be the Noob Taker match. But this was essentially the best match of the night. And it had essentially a match of the night trophy, so yeah, it was quite close on some cases. But if you're curious, what was the one that had ties? Well, the Noob Taker match and then Aaron vs Noah had both 10%. So we're quite close, really, neck to neck. Now, the more, I would say, important as well, that this is the more memorable ones, that everyone sat on the seat, got a ticket and bought something. This is our pay-per-view of the year. The top 3% is the Brutality 5, Briefcase Full of Guts, and Hell to Pay 3. And your winner, drum roll please, with a whopping 69 votes, is Brutality 5. I do not disagree with this one at all. I think the closest one that could really beat this what might be like I don't think anyone is close to beating it. If I'm really thinking about it, nothing is close. Not. But the next award. This goes to the Botch of the Year. This is where the funniest or the stupidest moments happen within BVE. Small little things such as like me saying stuff wrong, or someone else saying stuff wrong, or something that everyone just forgot about. But this is the top 4 because there's actually a tie between some. Like before, the top 4 of Botch of the Year is James Taylor accidentally winning the Mr. Failure Championship, Lopez mixing up Nortia and Natasha. I have context for this. And Nortia's manager Storm saying that's right after Nortia loses. And lastly, Donald Trump no-selling Scary's attack. This one is actually quite close by 2% on some votes, but that is not for the winners. And I guess Anna said winners, because this had a tiebreaker with a 22.5%. The winners of Botch of the Year is James Taylor excellent winning Mr. Failure Championship, and me mixing up Nortia and Natasha. So that's the story. This is more on their Discord. the reason was that they had essentially almost a quite close Discord name. I kept mixing them up, I kept failing on it. Or at least the username really was extremely close. My mind was like, this must be this and this must be that. But oh, shit happens. Now for the next award. This is extremely important. I think everyone on this really have done the best of themselves. Because this is the Wrestler of the Year award. And I think I'm gonna just announce the top 5 actually. There's no ties, but I want to just say the top 5 in this scenario. The top 5 nominees are Aaron Jekyll, Noah Rourke, Nortia Faye, Dallas, and Ivory Mitchell. Now, this was really... I thought it was going to be a no-brainer in most cases, but it kept going around and around whenever I was looking at it. Some people voted someone else, and some people voted themselves. In most cases, this was quite a close one, because the winner of this Wrestler of the Year, I do not disagree with at all, with a 30%, is Aaron Jekyll. I think Aaron really deserved this one. He has really outdone himself, really outshined everyone at best, and I'm really proud of him. But if I had to do second place, that by looks of it is Nortia. She got more votes than Ivory, which I was a bit surprised by, and a bit of shocker too, to be honest. But if I had to say who won, and Aaron, no brainer. Now the last award is Finisher of the Year. This is where the most important part, where they're ending, there's the more pop, where everyone remembers, but this is a top 4 situation. No ties, but just the top 4 really, because of the votes. The top 4 indicates of Ivory Michelle's Project Diamond, Aaron Jekyll's Hidden Blade, Gary the Machinery, aka Burning Hammer, and the Taker's Tombstone Pie Drivers. For the most votes with a whopping 25%, a quite close one actually, is Aaron Jekyll's Hidden Blade. The second place goes to Gary's Machinery with a 22.5. So if 1 or 2 more people voted for Gary, if 2 more people voted for Gary Finisher, he would have won. This was quite a close one by 1 vote. Keep that in mind. 1 vote away from a tie, or 2 votes away from winning. For my opinion, I don't think Project Diamond was the most memorable one. I think everyone used it, so it kind of lost its feel. I don't remember seeing Hidden Blade that much. I've seen it a few times. I've seen Gary using the machinery quite often, ending his matches, which is what essentially what the finisher is for. And I think the Tombstone is a classic move everyone loves. And this one's very hard for me to think of who really deserves it, so I will skip it. Now, the more important part is, and this part before our real Hall of Fame, is the future of WWE. Before anything, let me just take it over to the chairman. Hello, Lopez from the future here, again. I'm currently recording it at when there's -27 here, so excuse me not having a dress on because it's fucking cold, but I've took on a more nice sweater of mine to make me look still professional and still nice. But we have a letter from the new chairman. He sadly couldn't record his session, but I'll read it out loud, try to be in his character, but for now he'll stay anonymous. But he gave me 2 names for some reason. So the first sentence is in a person named Oprah Winfrey. Cheers to the new year and another chance for us to get it right. Now the rest is the chairman's. And I get it. This is what we'll do. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends. You don't know me yet, but and if you do, you are clearly mistaken. My identity will be not revealed at the moment, but later in the future you will be aware of who I am. But for now, you can address me as a new owner of Bwe Direct Wrestling Entertainment. That's right, I'm captaining the new ship now as Beardman, now following stepping down and let myself shine in the light. Benefit with its future. Now and with being said, I'm hereby announcing to be the audience and putting on notice to the wrestlers of BWE. Everything is coming to January 25th. There will be a new season of BWE. Surprise! It's not yet. I'm not going to be taking the same route as it always takes. At Brutality 5, we've seen the crowning of all sort of new champions and a fresh treasures carrying to the company's title. The beginnings are marked now of this new upcoming era, shortly in BWE, and get to you see a lot of new faces, because this season is called and will be known as BWE's Revival, Dawn of the New Breed. That's right. As Bearman takes his leave, I will take my entrance into the start of the new life under the BWE manner. And I will have my many plans that I will be gifting all of you with this season. They will address topics such as tournaments, new match concepts, special entrances, the new show structure. And ladies, your hard work has been unnoticed this year either. A women division. And last but not least, after the Impact BWE had a few factions, I'm noticing that tag team are crying demand in BWE. We will have an attempt for a tag team division for like the 100th time. This will be addressed further down the line, but the main announcement I'd like to mention before all with the great news today is that I have more great news. Again, taking notice that Underground has only one champion. 11 was declared that Underground should be defended at the main roster as well with his newly won title. Do not fear, Underground division, you're not forgotten. That's why this season is a new division is born is Underground in Underground. It's going to change the structure and dynamic of Underground forever. Before I announce this, he forgot to mention that the Underground Championship is getting a whole new design as well, like a new concept, a new look. BWE, welcome the Division X. It's new home to the Underground. Now only thing left is that we will need to declare an inaugural champion. How will that be done? Glad you asked. This February 17th, BWE presents the first ever BWE Underground Takeover 1, The Arrival, where the main event, 4 men will be fighting for the opportunity to become the first ever Division X champion and make history with their own name, also carrying the prestige of the brand new championship. For now, this is all being tuned in January 20th to hear BWE first press conference / interview show of 2024 called To Bwe Direct for 2EV. As we'll furthermore provide you with more information you will need to know for this upcoming season. And a quote from Brian McGill. The ball is in your court. I left the light on. Heck, I left all the lights on. Enough light to light a full tennis court. I left the light on if you're on your way home. You know how I feel. what I want and what I need. You. And lastly, his signing off messages. This is your moment, and this is your at the moment almost new owner of SPV signing off. As you can heard, there's gonna be a new championship look for the underground, so it's getting a new whole look. So it's gonna essentially get a whole update. Then we're getting a whole championship Division X, like a mid-card title for the underground roster, which will be defended on its first ever underground pay-per-view, which will be awesome. There's gonna be obviously more. I'll be mostly in the background checking this out. That was all the message there is. Now, it's time to announce the Hall of Barbaric. This is where the more important, memorable moments of everyone's career, where everyone has done the best, done awards, been memorable, and will be memorable. This one was a bit harder on some cases, but easier on other cases. But let me at least introduce you to the Hall of Famers. It's like, I guess, 5 people technically, but it's 4 because one of them is merged together. But the first one introduced into the Hall of Barbaric, Hall of Fame, is Kai Rickson. Before I give you his speech, I'll say just wholeheartedly congratulations to Kai, and I wish you a speedy recovery after that horrible accident, man. But here is his speech.
This is a recording for the Hall of Barbaric speech of Kai Raxon. It's been a long road. Really and truly, words can't describe on what I think about being here in this moment at this time. It's been hard working mode. It came with a lot of ups and downs, but it told a story. It was a journey that at the moment is at a pause. So I'm at the moment just lost for words. I'll just start off by saying that I'm honored in being inducted into this class in what is the final season of BWE. BWE is really something I put my all into. My heart, my mind, my passion. I go all out for BWE, and just to be recognized for the hard work and dedication that I do, it really makes me feel accomplished in more ways than one. I don't know. I'll just thank all of those that really contributed onto this journey. So I like to thank people like my stablemates from the Black Sun Empire, Jack Cleese Archer, North Yafe, Noah Rourke. For some that don't remember, Luke Kilborn. It was with these guys that I seek a motivation into new life, to breathe in a new dawn, a new era, a new vision for BWE. It gave me a new pathway, a new story to write and create. And I just am glad that I got to do it alongside those that I mentioned. Um, I want to thank others as well. We might not see eye to eye, but Aaron Jekyll, me and Aaron went back a long way. And even though that we might not be on the same page more often, he still gives me somewhat of a motivation. He makes me get that intensity, that pressure that I need to have, whereas I need to be one up. I have to stay on my A game. I have to top what he's doing. I get my motivation, whether I like it or not, from Aaron Chuckle. People might say that we're the same person, but in reality, we're not. We're just two guys really, that's really passionate into the art that they take. Um, I just sit back and like reflect, and I'd say to myself like, without BWE, there would be no Kyrax in story. Without BWE, there is no story for Kyrax. And I am thankful for that. I am grateful for that. That I was given the opportunity, the chance to make it and to make BWE my home. And so, with that, I will forever be grateful. I will keep my memories. I will remember all of my matches. And I won't ever put the Federation or Barrack Wrestling Entertainment in the back of my mind when it comes to me being Kyraxen. I've developed, I've grown, I've established myself. I've been everything just about possible that I've always wanted to do in the wrestling industry in BWE alone. And once again, without BWE, nothing, none of that would exist, wouldn't happen. Um, to be honest, it's just a big thank you. So before I sign off, I just wanna say to everyone in the back, everyone in the locker room, everyone in the crowd, everyone tuning in to the introduction, thank you. Thank you for letting me be Kyraxen. Thank you for letting me entertain you. Thank you for witnessing the stuff that I've done. Did I prepare this speech? No, I did not. But just going by reflection and off of my mind, I can find something to present to you guys, just as a token of gratitude. So this might not been the perfect speech that I've had planned out, but this is just a speech to say thank you for inducting me.
Now, the second person introduced into the Hall of Barbaric, and I think he really deserves it by having probably the most dominant year that is not Aaron is Evan Christenor. This was a very back and forth on if he should or shouldn't, but it was a no-brainer after I realized how really well he has been doing for BB, and his like just him being around BB has really done a lot. But he couldn't really record his speech, so he gave me the prompter, give him as his speech. So I want to everyone just essentially put the Evan in their mind, put like his voice in your mind as I am reading his prompter for everyone. I know. Me and Hannah Bwe Direct was expected because of my toddler reign, but I still rather surprised that I got it. I mean, come on. I shit on the company. I left the champions. Then I came back, saved Jake from Lopez, beat LR, and they gave me Hollow Barbaric. A good match of the night, and ahead of everyone else by far. Now, you all might wonder, who am I thinking? And I'll say it with drum rolls, please. I think absolutely none of you. Come on, you expected me to thank you, any of you people, for cheering me in beating LR. I mean, come on. And I damn well knew you cheered me because of your guys' personal spite for the man. Come on. Me and Ashley were talking about that shit and we agreed you people cheered her despite the fact shit on your favorite every bitch L who lost to Gary Norrock. Fucking hated I. And then he became bipolar and respected the man despite the fact he shitted on the entire run. He made him lose the world title. Jalen Brooks was the only fucker I had respect the entire show because he got truly shitty production and shitty technical work and became the champion. El Toro Blanco, apart on it, apparently is leaving after winning the belt and apparently don't want to lose. She was told to buy backstage. Gary, you are trash, you are nothing. Dumbass who reacted for your cool pyro shit. None of y'all, you're shit champion already. Your promo skill is trash. Your wrestling skill is trash. You didn't even try to grab the hammer from you. Ivory had to fucking save you. The drive core does not need to be there talking to you people anymore. I'll see myself out. Noah, I'm coming for that H title. Bitch boy, expect a rifle owner. After H title of the returns to his scene and restored the glory, and after just went through the trashy traditional title reign. Now, time to introduce a second, well, more of a tag team into the Hall of Barbaric. Yes, finally a tag team! That's not really the Goon Squad, but someone else that is more remindable. Or as remindable. And they are the Hurricane Brothers. I think this was a very fun little meme shit post up shit back in the early seasons. But I think they really served it as they have won championships, tag teams, US Junior Heavyweight and other titles. And they were semi-dominant and beat people like Aaron, Mari, Evan in the past. So they're extremely dominant and extremely powerful. But this is the Hurricane Brothers, not the Taker Brothers. The people of Pain. Nothing. So they're essentially the same people, not the same people, but they're in the past of them, but not their current self. Try to explain this easily to anyone outside of the season. Oh. But sit upright. I think the last award goes to a very important person. I think this person really deserves it because she deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. She is the first woman to be the winner of the Rumble. She is the first woman to hold the world title. Any title at all. May it be any championship between being one of the first women holding that championship. She is, drum rolls, Mara. Whoa, hold on. Lopez, this is the wrong. What do you mean that's all of this? It's from Lopez. This is the wrong paper. It's currently in paper. This is from 2010. 2010? That's not right. PV didn't start then. Sorry, I mean 2015 and 2016.
But what are been?
It's extremely outdated.
Okay, that makes sense.
Look at the new paper. Never mind. Vara is not in the Hall of Fame. Sorry, everyone. I guess I'll be part of the next year for that moment right there. Either way, for real, your Hall of Fame, the first Rumble winner, she is Ivory Mitchell. I asked her for a speech, a written speech, and I got absolutely nothing. So, I'll try to talk what I think Ivory would have said. I think she would have thanked BB, thanked me for the opportunity, and she would have most likely talked about her time within BBE and how she became from nothing to something, to become the next big girl to other federations. Because I think without BBE, she wouldn't really be much of anywhere. Really, she would have been nothing. She will probably realize that herself without me saying anything, but that's either the truth, either way. Now, I think you're thinking, Ira hasn't been there for a long. Well, she has just been here for about since the BV UK era. I think that was season 4, in the season 4 era, or season 5 era ish, season 5.5 or 5 era, essentially. And this is where I think she deserves it. Only person that has been here as long as her is Northia as well, but she just became a brutality champion. She hasn't done anything memorable that really picks her up to be in this contendership. If she holds that title for a very long time, hold all the championships, she's most likely gonna be here, most likely next year or the year after that, 2024 or 2025, either or. I think most likely no-brainer. Nortia is the next female in the Hall of Barbaric, in my opinion at least. But that was all. Before I really say goodbye for good, I will say any pings, I'll say anything. My last ping will be just this announcement, most likely, unless it's something extremely important like this person can't make it, or I have to host in some degree. You'll only see me within PvE if it's 100% needed, streaming, recording, or hosting for the chairman if they can't host it that day. It's an example. But I will take a full back seat. My time within PvE will now be. I think this is a very sad moment because I love BB. I could have done this. I could have kept doing this, but the reality is that everything has to come to an end. And I'm 26. I am becoming 27, essentially at 2024. And I think it's better for me to just stop. And I can't put my full time on wrestling as much. At least raw wrestling, maybe real life wrestling, but I can't do full time on raw wrestling. So, but I will do some recording for other federations, most likely Australian for them. But otherwise, my role is mostly backseating and do not much. But before anything else, this is some advice for any future federations before I say the talents, is that don't really give up too easily. Everything starts small. Build yourself up, build your federation, make a name for your federation, and make it so it feels different. Because an issue I've seen with other feds is it always feels the same. Not saying it's a bad thing, but I think it's very like how BWE is different is that it tries to be different. No one has done fully what everything BB has done. Someone had added from BB. There's like knockoff feds. There's as I've been writing this, there have been a knockoff fed of this that is calling itself BBE. Not the first one. This is the second fed that I have seen that had called himself BBE. Then there's some other feds that has taken some other some of stipulations. And there's other feds that have taken some likings of how we do match standing. So they're like, hey, you have done it. It looks very good. Can you add this into your fed? And some federations have been adding that to their federation. Now, this is it. To the future generation. If you're new here and want to really make a name yourself, is to find something that makes you unique, makes you shine. Because you can't just walk in, have a 7 match be done. You have to make something that's really like impactful, makes yourself feel not really the same but different in some degree, because everyone will then remember you as the person. Like example, Bianca Pilar. At her early days, she did want to remove some of her hair or like fix it not to have that whip. But she kept that hair because people will remember her like, hey, that whip girl, or that girl with the long hair. So find something that makes you feel different. If you're using a already made character, then I expect you to act like that character, speak like that character, not making it essentially your own. It takes a lot more. It takes more hard. I think it takes a bit harder work to do pre-made because you have to do study. But on custom, you have more freedom of will. So don't be afraid to do custom at first of experimenting what works for you. For some, a high offensive style works for them. For some, a slow, more grappling works for them. More technical works for others. Or giant works for some. And some are not gifted with promo skills. And some are gifted with promo skill. All takes time and everything is slow. Now, before anything else, I'll say thank you. Thank you all for what feels like just yesterday. For this recording, it wasn't even yesterday. And I'm being very real here that nothing can last forever. And this is where everything has to go. Everything essentially so from today I'm retired. Fully retired within January. I am retired. I'm no longer a wrestler. Yeah, at least a role wrestler. I had an amazing time. So but that also was introduced in the XCWE Hall of Fame. I had no time to really do my speech, so I thought of what if I could do it in here, like a final goodbye. So, people will do their speeches in character, but I think it's better I say out of character for this scenario and speak essentially like how it was at Lopez Root. Those early time, I had something that everyone needs, or what a federation needs, is that spark, is that fire. Early times, I essentially grew little by little and started to introduce myself in the cruiserweight. Was also the first title I got myself into, and Lone or Lelardo or RDO or LXM, whatever you wish to prefer them as, saw something in me, and he put me in matches after matches, and I really want to show that promise. So I said, what if I make a whole new title? And thus I introduced the War Championship. It was a very ugly title, yet I did something that not many can really say they have, which is making a championship relevant, even still ugly as fuck. Because a champion can make anything relevant if they put the work into it. It had a lot of back and forth, like an early 24/7 title. But I want to thank a lot to Tyson, because I think he really helped me in my early times. We had this biggest, one of my personal favorite rivalry of all time, that I want to really thank him for me taking the win over him in this rivalry of becoming one of the few last War champions before it was sadly put in the shelf. Now, where I held my last championship as a hardcore champion. I think I wish at least I could have held it longer to do some storylines. I wish XCW could have been as well longer before it fully closed down, so I could have a proper close-off. But I think what I did with Evan was the closest I could do to giving my absolute 100%. Doing Crossroads one more time, doing big moves, both kicking out of protecting moves and such on. But that's essentially it. That's my career from XCW, and I want to thank everyone that has really shined to me and really helped me become better in ring. And I'll be honest, no one is perfect, no one is the best of the best right away. But if you have something that's different, something that's unique, that makes it you speak louder even if you're not speaking, then that's special. And I feel like I'm one of the very few in early times that really had done that before everyone has really started to bring themselves more forward. Because early times I was the shining star, and now I had dwindled, and that's okay. And it's okay to give that star to someone else that I think really deserves the torch. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. That was my speech. But now it's time to say one last time the BVE true. Thank you everyone who has submitted their contribution to this. So let me start off. Welcome to Barbaric Wrestling Entertainment, where legends are born and made. Welcome, goodbye, and good night to the last episode of BVE.
All the crimes incomplete, listen, honestly I'll live. Mr. Cool, Mr. Right, Mr. Know-It-All is through. Now the future's so bright, and I owe it all to you who showed me the light. It's a brand new me, I got no remorse. Now the water's rising, but I know the course. I'm gonna shock the world, gonna show that horse. It's a brand new day, and Kenny will see the evil me, not a joke, not a dork, not a failure. And she may cry, but her tears will dry when I hand her the keys to a shiny new Australia. It's a brand new day, yeah, the sun is high. All the angels sing because you're gonna die. Go ahead and laugh, yeah, I'm a funny guy. Tell everyone goodbye. It's a brand new day.
BWE. 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 BWE.